إمام المتقين قائد الغر المحجلين مولانا مولى الثقلين سيدنا أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذريته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We continue with the book of The Secrets of Fasting by Imam Ghazali. It is from his book إحياء علوم الدين. نفعنا الله بعلومه وعلوم مشايخه في الدارين. اللهم صل على سيدنا Muhammad. We got to the end of the intention. Wajibatul Siyam, the second obligation is the niyyah, we said, and it is important to make the niyyah every night according to the Shafi'i madhab. There is an opinion in Maliki madhab that one can do it in the beginning of the month. So it is recommended for us to make intention in the beginning of the month, but every night after Maghrib till Fajr time we have to make that niyyah, as we mentioned in the previous session. And we also that we said that you cannot, when you make niyyah, you cannot be hesitant. So, for example, the 29th of the month of Sha'ban, you can't say, I am making intention that if tomorrow is Ramadan, I will fast. It does not tajzi, means it's not sufficient. So you have to know for certain that it is Ramadan and make intention to fast. Now, at the end of the month of Ramadan, if you're not sure that Ramadan is 29 or 30, and on the eve of the 29th, no one declared that it is Eid, and you make intention that if it is Ramadan and fasting, it's different because you're already in Ramadan, and the natural state is for you to fast, not to break your fast. And if you make intention at night, let's say at midnight you make intention to fast, you can still eat, although there is an opinion that it is better not to eat from the Sunnah, that it is better not to eat after you make the intention. But the majority of opinion is that you can eat. One can eat until Fajr time. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Now, there's two opinions of how much one can delay the sahur time. Yani how much can one eat? What's the last one can eat? And there is the opinion that for people who want to be prudent, who don't want to take any chances, because normally the adhan is not, the muadhins don't make the adhan until the fajr is in. So they see fajr is in, then they make the adhan. So you're already in fajr. So some ulama say it's better to follow the opinion that 10 to 15 minutes before adhan to stop eating, just to be on the safe side. And that is also from the Sunnah, because Prophet ﷺ, it is said that he would stop eating around the time that it takes you to recite 50 ayah from the Holy Quran. That's how much he will stop eating before Fajr. And 50 ayah takes about 15 minutes, depending how fast you're reading. It could maybe take 10 minutes. But the point is to stop before. There is another opinion, and that some of the Sahaba, like Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas, and I believe Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, would recommended eating until Fajr time, until the adhan came, the second adhan. And that is supported by the hadith that Prophet ﷺ said, don't break your fast when you hear the adhan of Sayyidina Bilal. Break your fast when you hear the adhan of Ibn Maktoum, the Sahabi al-Jalil. So Sayyidina Bilal would, radiallahu anhu, would make the adhan before Fajr for people to get ready to come to the prayer. Then the second adhan was done at Fajr time by Sayyidina Ibn Maktoum, Sahabi al-Jalil. He would make the adhan right at Fajr time. So Prophet ﷺ said, don't stop eating when you hear the adhan of Bilal. You still have time to eat, but you have to stop eating when you hear the adhan of the second adhan. So from that, ulama said that some of the Sahaba and the scholars used to eat up until they heard the adhan. Inshallah, yani, if one, like I said, it depends. If one wants to be safe, play it safe, then it is best maybe to stop 10 minutes before adhan time. It's called imsak time, and then uh, that way, one can stop eating, brush their teeth, wash, renew their wudu, and get ready for the prayer. Wallahu a'lam. And it is if a menstruating lady, she still had her period, uh, but she became clean if she made intention while she was still menstruating, and then she became clean right before Fajr, uh, and she fasted, and then her fasting is okay, is correct. And the third obligation is الإمساك عن إيصال شيء إلى الجوف عمدا مع ذكر الصوم. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina. So the third pillar or of fasting is of obligatory thing is to not put allow anything to enter our interior intentionally while knowing that you are fasting, because we all know that if you forget and you eat, then your fasting is correct. But if you know that you are fasting and you remember that you are fasting and you allow something to enter, then that breaks your fast. فيفسد صومه بالأكل والشرب والصعود والحقنة. So he's saying that the fast will be broke. You will break your fast by eating, by drinking, by inhaling some medicine, by al-huqna is the needle, the al-huqna. ولا يفسد بالفصد والحجامة والاكتحال, and it is not corrupted through hijama and kuhl, وإدخال الميل في الأذن, and entering liquid in the ear, والإحليل, وإدخال الميل في الأذن والإحليل. So to put liquid in your ear and in your eye ducts, إلا أن يقطر فيه ما يبلغ المثانة, unless you put too much. So if you put a couple of drops of medicine in your ear, or you put a drop in your eye, it doesn't break your fast unless you put so much that it's going to reach your bladder, and it will be so much that it will ما يبلغ المثانة. And whatever dust that enters your mouth and you swallow, or if a fly enters without you being able to help it, enters your mouth and you swallow it, and whatever you for madmada, when you wash your mouth for wudu, these things don't break your fast unless you exaggerate washing your mouth with madmada by putting too much water and some of it goes down by exaggeration, then it breaks your fast. And this is he's saying وهو الذي أردنا بقولنا عمدا, because when you're overly putting water in your mouth, you're kind of intentionally taking the risk of breaking your fast. So As for the one أما من أكل عامدا في طرفي النهار ثم, as the one who intentionally eats at the end of the day, whether um, he eats after Fajr time comes in and without knowing the Fajr time, but he was intending to eat, or he eats before Maghrib time without knowing that it is Maghrib time, and then it appears, and then he realizes that he actually ate during the day. Then he has to make up his fast. So the fast is not accepted. وإن بقي على حكم ظنه واجتهاده فلا قضاء عليه. As if he was insisted that his um, opinion that the time has entered for breaking one fast and he was certain of it, then he doesn't have to make up the fast. And Imam Ghazali is saying he's not supposed to, we're supposed to be, like I said, more, we're supposed to be more, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, prudent is the right word, I guess, when it comes to breaking our fast. We fasted all day and then there's no point of rushing, unless one is certain that Maghrib has entered. And the fourth obligation is al-imsaku an al-jima', is not to have a sexual. And if a person forgets that he's fasting or that it is Ramadan and he does have a relation, then it applies. He doesn't break his fast. And if a person has sexual relation at night and went to sleep and woke up, it does not it does not break your fast, even if after Fajr. So one makes ghusl after Fajr when he wakes up, and their fasting is right as long as they have the intention to fast. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. And if a person was in the act and he stopped once the Fajr came up and he heard the adhan, let's say, and stopped, then their fasting is correct. And if he takes his time, prolong it after that, then his fasting is corrupted, and he has to make amends, kafara, for his fast. And this is inshallah enough for today. We will talk about the remainder. There's al-khamis was sadis. There's two more obligations of fasting. We will speak about in the next session inshallah. ومن الله التوفيق. اللهم اغفر لي ذنبي واستر لنا عيوبنا ارحمنا وارحمنا بأرحم الراحمين. تبنا ورجعنا إليك، نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيئا ونحن نعلم ونستغفرك لما لا نعلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.